ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you very much. Hi, Joe Wendell. Greetings, friends. You know, if you remember back to the Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi kind of movies, there was always a moment when the bad guy in the film, the mysterious fella, would look at a young girl and he would say to her, "Look into my eyes, my dear." And she'd look, and then all kinds of trouble would happen, see? Now, if that young girl had known what our first contestant knows, she'd have been able to read those eyes and stay out of trouble. And you'll find out about that as soon as we meet our panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Peggy Cash. Bill Cullen. Kitty Carlisle. And Joe Garagiola.
What is it that they say of the eyes? They are the what?
Windows of the soul.
Windows of the soul.
Yeah.
They are also a little peek hole into your psyche. Did you know that?
No.
For heaven's sake.
It's scary and it's spooky, and you'll learn about it. Let us now meet the man who says the eyes have it.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Frederick Davidson.
Number two.
My name is Frederick Davidson.
Number three.
My name is Frederick Davidson.
And here is Dr. Davidson's story, and it's fascinating. He says, I, Frederick Davidson, can tell what you are thinking by looking into your eyes, specifically at the retina of the eye. Strange as it sounds, the retina changes color depending on the thoughts of the individual. What's more, the pupils change in size and the lens change in focus. Using an instrument called a retinoscope, the same type of judgments can be made as in the use of a lie detector. However, there are certain conditions under which a lie detector operator can be fooled. The retinoscope tells the truth. And that is why a trained polygraph operator has stated positively to me that the retinoscope is superior to the lie detector. Also, the uses and applications of the retinoscope are far broader. Incidentally, when an individual is in a highly charged emotional state, the color of his retina turns bright red. And I guess that's what's meant by seeing red. Signed, Frederick Davidson. Luckily, our panel doesn't sit close enough to our contestants to read their eyes, so they're going to have to judge by questions. We'll be back to try to do that right after these.
Love Family Feud? Love Plinko? Hate the whammy? Now you can play your favorite Buzzer games anytime. Just go to BuzzerTV.com and then select play. Have fun and let's play.
I've shaved every day for 20 years.
A couple times a week.
Just for special occasions.
Shaving gets me ready for my day.
I feel more confident clean shaven.
But I'm tired of overpaying for a close shave.
With Harry's, I don't have to. Harry's offers 5-blade closeness and comfort. And it's got all the features that I love.
And refills cost as low as $2 each.
Only half of what I paid before.
It's a premium shaving experience without the premium price tag.
Go to harrys.com/TV to claim your $5 trial.
Now then, friends, we have with us three gentlemen, all of whom say that they are Dr. Frederick Davidson, who states that he can determine whether or not someone is lying by the physical reaction of the eyes. And let's start the question with Bill Cullen, please.
Yeah, I've been wearing glasses since I'm 3 years old, and I know there's a great deal of truth in what's been said. Number three, the retinoscope you used is also used for other things. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
What ordinarily is the retinoscope used for?
Well, for people who are unable to converse, foreign language, children, this kind of thing, it's used to help with the refraction.
Number one, you mentioned that the retina always tells the truth. Isn't it more correct to say that the retina indicates when the person who is answering is not telling the truth?
No, it's a combination of both. If the retina turns a bright crimson, it indicates a Oh, charged emotional response or something distasteful, whereas if it turns completely white, it indicates total acceptance of the given idea.
Number 2, doctors have been known to send patients to ophthalmologists to have their eyes examined. Do you find that complete tension, what does the person who has this tension, you can see it in the retinoscope, but what is the person who is tense, what do they see when they look ordinarily at something?
Well, the color is something completely involuntary, and there are a couple of schools of thoughts as to what causes the coloration. I personally believe it's an electrochemical reaction in the retina itself.
Number 3, if I have a lot of little... just going to get a diagnosis
sorry,
there.
We're going to go to Kitty, please.
Thank you. Number 2, are you an ophthalmologist?
No, I'm not.
You're a doctor?
I'm a doctor of psychology.
Oh, I see. Number 3, it says here that the uses of the retinoscope are broader than the lie detector. In what sense?
Well, the retinoscope gives you the opportunity to determine length of emotional upset and duration, something like something that's just happened to you today as opposed to something that happened to you years ago.
Thank you. Number 1, what is the spectrum of color that the retina can assume?
Really, there are 3 basic patterns. There is a bright crimson, complete white, and then there is a sort of a yellow gold. Of course, within all of that, there are many gradations and nuances.
Thank you. Number 2, if you're very angry and I look at you, can I see with the naked eye your retina turn red?
No, you can't see the retina with a naked eye.
Oh, I see. Number 3, is it also not true that your tummy, the lining of your tummy, turns bright red if you're angry?
It not only does that, it does other things, too.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, there, like what? What does it do?
Well, I presume something relative to digestive juice stoppage and other things.
It gives you ulcers.
All right, you can look deep into somebody's eyes, but not deep enough to see the color of their tummy on the inside, I shouldn't think. But let's go to Joe.
Number 1, you talked about 3 different colors. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the crimson is when you're really uptight?
Yes, that's it. A highly charged emotional response.
The white is when I accept it?
Complete acceptance of the question or subject.
What about the yellow gold then, number 1?
The yellow gold is sort of a neutral in between the 2. A complete yellow gold, however, occurs only at death.
That sure stopped me cold.
My wife for years has been commenting upon my yellow gold eye. So she's trying to tell me something.
Number 3, you are a doctor of psychology, or number 2 said it. Do you agree? Is that stated? Is that a fact? I have a reason for asking that. Is that right?
That's fine, yes.
Now, would the slit in my eyes, if I get beady-eyed, as they say, does that tell you something?
Yes, it should.
It should, does it?
All right, let's go down to Peggy Cass, please.
Number 1, are you a doctor of psychology as well?
No, I have a master's in clinical psychology, but I don't have my doctorate.
In clinical psychology, I see.
Yes.
Well, number 3, if you're a doctor of psychology, how come you got into eye work?
Well, I guess since we think of the visual mechanism as a receptor, we deal in psychology with stimuli, responses, and a receptor would be an area of interest.
Thank you. Now, number 2, if you looked in my retina and you saw a bunch of squiggly little lines like little crooked worms, what would be wrong with me?
Well, I'll be looking at the cardiovascular structure of the retina, and depending on just exactly how expanded those lines were, you might very well have any of a variety of things. I'd hate to make a diagnosis.
Thank you. Well, no, mine is straight. Number 1, do you work in conjunction with the police department?
Yes, I work for Guardian Labs in Boston, Massachusetts, and we work closely with the Boston Police Department.
Oh, that's interesting. Number 3, do you also work with the police department, giving tests the same as polygraph tests?
No, I'm in the psychology department at Kent State University.
Thank you. Well, number 1, if you were going to look at some guy's retina, would he not have to say you're allowed to? I mean, say you went into the Boston Police Department and you were interrogating a prisoner, would you have to get that person's permission to look at his eyes?
Yes, usually it's quite voluntary on the part of a suspect to prove his innocence.
My, all right, there he goes, friends. No more questions. Time to mark your ballots, if you will, and let us, you and I, look deep into the eyes of number 1, and number 2, and number 3, keeping in...
We've always loved taking care of our home, but last year, Grandpa here broke his arm. We realized some home maintenance jobs aren't worth the risk.
That's when we call Leaf Filter to protect our gutters.
Leaf Filter's patented filter technology keeps debris out of your gutters for good.
They gave us a free inspection, and we had the system installed that week.
My only regret is not calling them sooner.
Now we can focus on what we really enjoy.
Join millions of satisfied homeowners. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
Are you sitting at home living in pain? Maybe it's in your hands or your back or your hips. I'm here to tell you that joint pain doesn't have to be a life sentence. Hi, I'm John Walsh. You know, for 40 years, I've been chasing down the culprits. And now I'm ready to throw the book at joint and muscle pain. That's why there's Omega XL, a one-of-a-kind, natural, powerful joint relief supplement. So I tried it, and it changed my life. Just ask anybody who uses it. The results are undeniable.
Last week, I walked 6 blocks. I was so proud of myself. I ordered Omega XL, and now I have more energy than I ever had. It's been the best thing that I did because it relieves a lot of pain. Everything changed for the best. I can go out, I can hang out with my sisters, I can go anywhere, clean my house, do whatever I can and want to do. Now it's let's go, baby. This product is the best thing. You will remember what did it to you, and it was Omega XL.
That's the truth, the facts, and the hope that Omega XL can bring you. Case closed.
Go to OmegaXL.com/John Walsh or call the number at the bottom of your screen right now to take advantage of this special offer. Buy 1 bottle of Omega XL, get 1 free. That's 2 bottles for only $39.95. Plus, you'll also receive a bottle of Vitamin XL D3 absolutely free. And it's backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, just return the unused portion for a full refund of the purchase price.
If you're living with joint or muscle pain caused by inflammation, try Omega XL and see the difference it can make in your life.
Order now to get this special offer. 2 bottles of Omega XL plus Vitamin XL D3 for only $39.95. Act now.
That we pay $50 to each to them for a wrong answer, $500 if it's a total stump, and Bill Cullen comes in first.
No, it isn't often you see 3 people and there's no reason why not to vote for any of them. So you have to sort of say, well, all the answers as good as far as I am concerned. I took number 1, I guess, as the most likely. They were equally good. I don't trust number 2 and number 3, though, when I say that.
All right, you got 1 going for you. And Kitty?
I think they were all telling the truth. One is in the psychology department at Kent. One works for the police department, number 2. But I had to vote for number 2 because he talked about cardiovascular symptoms in the eyes, and I know that is possible.
So we're going down the line so far. And Joe?
Somebody's going to be right. I voted for number 3. I believe him.
Nobody's going to go home empty-handed. Somebody a little more than the other. How about it, Peg?
Well, I thought they were all good, too. But the thing is, I know that you can tell hypertension from looking in a person's eyeballs. I think that's the retina. I voted for 2.
All right, that's the way it goes here. The votes are all in. And at this moment, will the real Dr. Frederick Davidson please stand up? Thank you, Dr. Davidson. Be back to you in a moment. Let's find out about your highly skilled friends. Very good. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Russ Goodrow, and I'm a TV sales account executive with Katz Television. We're the largest television and radio station representative firm in the country.
Hey there. Nice to know you. Number 2, will you tell us about yourself?
I'm Herb Getzler. I'm president of Copylease Corporation of America, and we're the country's largest third-party lessor of Xerox equipment.
You know, this was a fascinating spot anyway, but Dr. Davidson and I are both a little bit disappointed because in the Goodson-Todman offices, we tried this thing out on some staff members in subdued light, and it worked like a charm. It was absolutely fantastic, the way he could tell what people were thinking, whether they were telling the truth. Then we tried it out here this morning in the studio under the bright lights, and it's like going to an ophthalmologist and asking him to look into your eyes in a brightly lit room. It just didn't work. And it's too bad we couldn't have the demonstration, Dr. Davidson, but I'll vouch for the fact that it works. And
I'm
thank you very
sorry,
much
and
for
I
being
thank
with
you.
us. And thank you, gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
also. Oh, yeah. Actually, with the staff, it was so accurate that it was weird. But there's just no way of doing it in bright lights because the retinoscope just can't penetrate it. But now, going along, even in this age of advanced technology, predicting the weather is still a very chancy business, as we all know. And our next guest is one of the best in that business, and he'll be delighted to answer any all questions you may have, which must be many.
Next, it's a plethora of word puzzles on Password Plus that'll keep you guessing, plus another Password Plus after that. Oh, it's a Password Plus party, if you will. Stay tuned.
You will never smell better everywhere like you will with Lumi. It's so easy to use. Just a pea-sized amount like this rubs in like a lotion, controls odor for 3 days on pits, feet, privates, anywhere you have odor but wish you didn't. Now, before you say, isn't that what soap and water is for? I'm here to tell you that your shower doesn't work as well as you think it does. And Lumi is clinically proven to work better than a shower with soap. Give Lumi a try and see what happens, because your body has never been so odor-free as it will be with Lumi. It's one less thing to worry about.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on Deal Dash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Addiction is an epidemic. Millions are struggling, and over 100 lives are lost each day. Are you next? At Better Addiction Care, we understand the devastating impact of drug and alcohol addiction. Our network of treatment centers offer detox, therapy, counseling, private luxurious centers, physical fitness, chef-prepared meals, aftercare, and your insurance may cover up to 100% of costs. Visit betteraddictioncare.com or call 855-598-9901.
Now let's meet our Cracker Jack weatherman.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Huey Schnipp.
Number 2.
My name is Huey Schnipp.
Number 3.
My name is Huey Schnipp.
And here is the weather bulletin of Huey Schnipp. He says, I, Huey Schnipp, am the youngest radio weatherman in the country. 4 times a day, 5 days a week, I supply weather forecasts to my local station. My equipment consists of 2 thermometers, 2 barometers, a hygrometer, and a wind gauge attached to an anemometer on the roof of my house. I honestly believe that my weather predictions are more accurate than those offered by the National Weather Service. Because, you see, they simply feed their information into a computer. And then someone who doesn't know much about the subject then goes on TV and simply reads the computer's forecast. I prefer to rely on my own manpower. Signed, Huey Schnipp. Peggy Cass, do you know about anemometers and things like that there?
No, but I'll try. Number 1, I want to know, where do you live?
I live in Princeton, New Jersey.
And number 2?
I live in Bloomington, Indiana.
And number 3?
In Norwich, Connecticut.
Now, number 3, you know when they do the news on national television, they always say, they usually say the coldest place in the country is, and it's usually the same place. Do you know where it's always pretty cold?
Usually in the Arctic Circle or in the Northwest Canada area region.
Thank you. And number 1, when they say the hottest place in the country, it's quite frequently from this place. Do you know?
Pardon me?
Where the hottest place in the country usually is?
Hottest place, Florida.
Thank you. Now, number 2, what is a hygrometer?
A hygrometer tells you the humidity in the air.
Oh, and with your hygrometer you have a wind gauge, an anemometer. What's an anemometer, number 2?
That gives you the wind pressure.
You mean there's a difference between the wind gauge and the wind pressure?
Well, the wind pressure tells you how fast it's blowing.
And what does the wind gauge tell you? Where it's blowing from?
Yes.
Oh, I think I could do this myself. Number 1, do you think there's any value? Every night you see these big satellite photographs. I don't know what they do. Got a lot of white stuff. Do you think those have any true value in showing the people of this city
I really don't think so. The people in the city, the way they broadcast their weather comes right out of a computer. And people get on the television set, and they don't do any research of their own. They read off the teletype. And I do all my research. And I don't think...
I hope Frank Fields is listening.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
He's either having a big laugh or he's sitting there throwing rocks at the set.
One night he called the computer right on the air.
He did what, Peggy?
One night he called the computer right on the air. I thought it was kind of brave of him. He's not going into false colors.
He's a knowledgeable gentleman, indeed.
Right.
Let's go to Bill.
Well, Frank doesn't carry all that much weight. As a matter of fact, the computer wouldn't talk to him. He got the computer's secretary. Number one, when you see a weatherman go out on the roof or outside in the yard or wherever it is and hold something in his hand and spin it around like mad for a period of time, what is that weatherman trying to determine at that point?
He's trying to determine the pressure of the air.
Number three, do you not require maps and information on other cities? Is it really possible to tell what the weather is going to be in your area just from those instruments you mentioned?
No, not really. That's just the observation part of it. Maps are really needed tremendously to make forecasts for my location, and I do use them every day.
And Kitty Carlisle is
Well, I think you've got a very good service because very often those big companies that have no windows say it's pouring rain outside and I look out the window and it's a beautiful sunny day because they can't see. And you can see what's going on, number two, can't you? Number two, tell me something. What does it mean when there's a sudden drop in the barometric pressure?
When there's a sudden drop, I'm not sure.
Do you know, number three?
Yes, that a storm system will be approaching and usually bad weather will occur or a front coming.
A front. I never know what that is either. Number one, do you trust the Farmer's Almanac?
Do you trust the horoscope?
Yeah.
What? The horoscope.
Said, do you trust the horoscope? Yes.
That's a good one.
Very good answer. Number two, where did you get all these instruments from?
I've gotten them from my uncle. They've been donated to me, and all I had to buy were the thermometers.
And number three, what is your...
The final questions come from Joe Garaziola.
Number three, I always hear about a dew point. What's a dew point?
Well, say that the temperature is 55 degrees and the dew point 49. The temperature has to be cooled down to that point before any kind of moisture will take place in the atmosphere or precipitation.
Doggone right. Okay.
Don't you remember when you were a young fella and you're out with a girl, it was always a dew point and then it was a don't point?
Yeah. But in my neighborhood, it was a nuncha touch. Number one.
I took up some of your time. However, the ball game is over, and it's time for us to ballot our marks. And we will vote for either number one, or number two, or number three. And Peggy commences, I do believe.
Oh, I commence. Well, gee, I really didn't know who it was because number one, it's usually in Needles, Arizona or someplace that's the hottest point. And number three is usually Fraser, Colorado, it seems to me, is the cold place. But when number two didn't know what it means when the barometer is going down, I voted for three, if you can follow all that.
All righty, we got a three going. Bill Cullen?
Yeah, number one, had a little trouble with that wet bulb thing that you go out and spin around, which is to determine the moisture in it. But number three, he fielded, excuses to you, Joe, he fielded Joe's temperature about dew points so perfectly, and anyone who's ever done any flying knows how accurate he is. Number three is a good man. He has my vote.
So far, we got a pair of threes. And Kitty, how you going?
Well, that's funny. I voted for number two. I thought he answered all the questions about the hygrometer and the anemometer, and he got his things from his fathers and his uncles, and I think that's very good.
Well, all right. Family solidarity. We've got a two and a pair of threes and Joe Garaziola coming on.
Well, number one had me until he said Florida was so hot, and then I had to go with number three. I mean, if I don't vote for him, he's going to come over and pinch my head off.
We have one maverick in the group, is Kitty Carlisle. She's off by herself. Everybody else is on number three. The votes are in. Huey Schnipp, you're over there somewhere. Will you please stand up? There's Huey. Thank you, Huey. Let's find out who the rest of us are. That was a tough one to fake on. It's so full of hard bedrock facts. Number one, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Tim Murphy, and I'm a sophomore student at West Windsor Plainsboro High School in Princeton Junction, New Jersey.
Hey there. And number two, please tell us about you.
My name is Robert Pettibone, and I'm a sophomore at Bentley School in Manhattan.
Huey, I don't think we did establish the name of the radio station and its location, the one that you broadcast for.
I work for WICH Radio in Eastern Connecticut, and the city is Norwich.
In Norwich, Connecticut?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Huey. You're a very bright young man. Thank you, gentlemen, all, for being with us. Take care.
Back pain. When you've got it, you know it. Introducing the X-Back from CopperFit, our groundbreaking technology designed for compression support of your lower back and core like you've never experienced before. Engineered with our most innovative, patent-pending, Advanced X compression system, the X-Back evenly distributes the support across a broader surface area of your back for relief of lower back aches and pains.
The new belt is fantastic. I feel a bigger area of support. Immediately, there was something different about this.
A super lightweight mesh fabric, ventilated for unmatched breathability to increase airflow and release excess heat.
You have to try it. You haven't felt anything that's going to give you the kind of support and relieve the back pain that you have, because it is unbelievable.
Our copper-infused fabric, made with the most advanced materials for superior support and lighter than air comfort.
It's just relaxing all that tension that you get.
Wow, oh, that feels great.
I've tried a lot of belts in the past. Nothing like this.
I have a history of back issues, man, and this is really hard to believe what I'm feeling right now.
An orthopedic-designed alloy support panel and 4 built-in flexible stabilizers to help improve alignment and promote better posture.
Usually when I have long triathlons, there's pain. With the belt, there's absolutely no pain. For me, it was like, okay, is this really happening? I really haven't felt anything like this before.
The all-new X-Back from CopperFit, the most effective, breathable, customizable support for relief of lower back pain you will ever wear. Guaranteed or your money back. Get yours now at getxback.com for only 2 payments of $29.99. Or call 1-800-804-1645. Order right now and your shipping is free.
This is by far the best support that I have found.
You feel like, you conquered the world, and it's life-changing.
The all-new X-Back from CopperFit. Feel the difference.
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth, but they just used Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
I heard a marvelous true story the other day. A couple of friends of mine were involved in the production of a television show that was going to be held outdoors if it was good weather, indoors if it was bad weather. And they were very nervous about it. It took a lot of planning. And so they, the day before the thing was supposed to go on the air, they called Frank Field's office, seriously, at NBC, and they said, can we talk to Frank because we need some kind of prognostication. They said, he isn't here now, but we'll give you the telephone numbers of the 2 people he calls at the Weather Bureau. It's a true story. I don't blame him for double checking. Use all the information you can. Come see us again, friends.
This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Tubman production.